So many of us lived our Ramadan in waste of time, in watching serials, in watching TV, in lazing around, in killing the time. As when the Prophet ﷺ is asked by his wife Aisha radiallahu anha, if I am to find Laylatul Qadr, we don't know which night, most likely one of the odd nights, but we don't know which, what should I say? It's like if I end up one day standing in front of the king or the queen or the prime minister, I'm going to find myself speechless. Give me a script, what should I say? And in that moment, the Prophet ﷺ tells her, if you find yourself in that night, Laylatul Qadr, then you should say, Allahumma innaka afuun. Oh Allah, you are the only one able to wipe away all of my sins. Tuhibbul afwa, and you love to do so. Fa'fu anni, please erase, wipe clean all of my sins. Be ambitious. As we come to the last 10 nights, we are not asking somebody with limited capital, with a small bank account, with limited reserves. We're not asking someone who is facing the cost of living crisis. We are asking the Almighty who owns the heavens and the earth. Why be modest in our request? The Prophet ﷺ says to his companions, إِذَا سَأَلْتُمُ اللَّهَ, if you get a chance to ask Allah for something, فَاسْأَلُوهُ الْفِرْدَوْسِ, don't ask Him for the basement of paradise. Don't ask Him for the ensuite studio accommodation of paradise. Ask Him for the penthouse. Ask Him for Al-Firdaus. Ask Him for the greatest part of paradise. Don't be modest. Don't be shy. Because you are asking the one who owns the heavens and the earth. This is the attitude with which we should go into the last 10 nights. We are going to a sale, an offer, a one-time offer, in which 83 years worth of deeds can be gained and a lifetime worth of sins can be forgiven. How merciful of Allah to even grant us that opportunity. A very long time ago, there was a similar companion of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, who was very fond of cats, and they were very fond of him as well. Such that one day the Prophet ﷺ finds him playing with a bunch of kittens, and the Prophet calls him out of love, Ya Aba Hir, O father of kittens. And he began to be called out of honor, Abu Huraira, the father of kittens. Many of us know the name Abu Huraira, but we don't know the story behind the name. And I want to end this khutbah sharing with you this story in hopes that it will give us food for thought. This man, Abu Huraira radiallahu anhu, he accepts Islam in the 7th year Hijri. That means after he accepts Islam, he only has 3 to 4 years in the company of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam before the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam passes away. 3 to 4 years. For a moment, think about everything he has missed. He has missed the Battle of Badr, the Battle of Uhud, the Battle of the Trench, the great battles, the great wars, the great moments. How many years he missed the company of the Prophet ﷺ? 17 years he did not experience a moment with the Prophet ﷺ. And he's come now at the very end of the Prophet's life, the last minute, the last 3 years, and he's accepted Islam. One might think, in 3 years, what is this man going to do? What's he going to learn from the Prophet? What's he going to achieve? And then he turns around and he shocks us all. And he becomes the greatest narrator of hadith that the world has ever seen. 3 to 4 years in the company of the Prophet ﷺ. And he narrates roughly 12,000 ahadith. 3 to 4 years. It's like when you're watching a match and you get that substitution at the last 5 minutes, and that substitute scores all the goals. That last over of the match, when all the runs are scored. It takes a man who knows the value of time. He thinks to himself, I have 3 years. I've spent so many years of my life as a disbeliever. In these 3 years, this was his mandate, his mission. I am not going to part ways with Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam for even a single minute. I am going to memorize everything he says, every movement, to the extent Abu Huraira used to watch the Prophet's silences and ask him, why were you silent for that one moment? One day he asked the Prophet, أَرَأَيْتَ سُكُوتَكَ بَيْنَ التَّكْبِيرِ وَالْفَاتِحَةِ مَا تَقُولُ. I saw you silent for one moment between saying Allahu Akbar and reading the Fatiha. What do you say? Look at the curiosity. Look at the intelligence. Look at how intent he is to preserve every second he lives with the Prophet ﷺ. So many of us, our entire lives have been lived in sin, in waste. We have never really discovered our purpose and why Allah created us. So many of us lived our Ramadan in waste of time, in watching serials, in watching TV, in lazing around, in killing the time. But you know what? If Abu Huraira in 3 years, 4 years, could narrate thousands of hadith, you and me, we still have half the month. There will be people in this room who are not going to be alive next Ramadan. It may be you and it may be me. This may be our last opportunity.